This is the Pick, guys.
Hey, welcome to the show.
What is up? What is up? So we're gonna be getting this a little late, but we figured we'd do it tonight, Monday night, because it was 2 games Monday night, and this is our recap of the first week of football, NFL.
Yep.
And first things first, we need to say something about 9/11. I wanted to say my heart goes out to all the victims of 9/11 and the families. We'll never forget you.
Yeah, man, this is 16 years ago. This was a tragic event. You know, I remember when I was a kid. I was in elementary.
Yeah.
I was a little guy,
Yeah.
but I'll never forget that, man, because the whole school was, normally it was like a Monday or something. Like normally, you go to school and your teachers are ready to hand out papers. Like the whole day, man, everybody was just shocked and watching the event go down. And I remember as a kid, usually a kid, kind of knows what's going on and all that, but it just was scary overall, man, for everybody. So yeah, man, my condolences to everybody that lost their lives that day, and yeah, man, it just shows that we gotta stay strong through stuff like that. So
yes, that's a very hard day, but we gotta move on as a country.
Yeah, get stronger.
And get stronger, but we never forget the victims of that day.
Absolutely not.
All right, well, we're just going to get back to football. Eagles and the Redskins will be our first game we're going to talk about. So how did you feel about that game, Ryan?
That was a pretty decent game. Man, dude, that Eagles offense looks like a problem.
Yeah.
Wentz played really well.
He did.
Of course, it helps when you got a explosive receiver, Alshon Jeffries, on that team.
Yeah.
That's one thing they slacked last year, was they didn't really have any great weapons to throw to.
They really didn't.
And they were dropping the balls a lot. So that was definitely a uprise that they got, because they needed receivers, man, like bad.
Yeah.
So and like I said, in Week 1 it showed that it's gonna help that they got these weapons now. And on the Redskins, man, honestly, the Redskins look like the last year Redskins. Struggled on offense, struggled a bit on defense, and yeah, man, they just honestly look like the 2016 Redskins in my eyes, man.
Yeah, Carson Wentz look great.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to make the big step, and I don't think he's going to have the sophomore slump. He just looked great. Outside of an interception, which was really not his fault, he looked amazing.
Yeah.
He made a wow plays, and he just played great.
Yeah, their first possession, the first play of their first possession, he scrambles out.
It was a third down.
No, I'm just saying that was their first possession.
Oh, yeah.
And that was crazy. He ended up scrambling out and throwing that ball the way he did and made the play.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, man, he looked great in his Week 1, and all these games I have to mention before we get into any rest of them. A lot of these games and a lot of these teams that won and look like they play well, just calm down. Like I said, this is Week 1.
Yeah.
We got a whole long season ahead of us. So
yeah, we can't overreact.
We're not gonna hype. We're gonna hype up players, but we're not gonna hype them up to the point where we're gonna say they're just gonna ball out the rest of the season. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta just take a grain of salt with the Week 1.
Yeah.
But we can take the little things out of the season game.
Like I said,
games.
Regardless, they still played well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just kind of like he said, the Redskins made mistakes. Kirk Cousins made some mistakes in the red zone, which is just kind of keeping him from being an elite quarterback in this league. He makes bad decisions sometimes in the red zone, throws an interception, and costs his team points.
Yep. It seems like when they get in the red zone, and it just feels like he wants to score so bad he forces it too much, and you see what happens. He throws interceptions.
Yeah. So it's just, you gotta cut down on that, honestly, if he wants that big contract. So we're gonna go to the Browns and the Steelers game. Kaiser, he looked pretty good for a rookie.
Not too bad.
He held on the ball a little too much and took some sacks that he shouldn't be, but he's a rookie, man.
I was gonna say which sounds like typical rookie mistakes.
Yeah, but he played all right. He made some throws and made the game interesting. Their Browns defense played well, even without Myles Garrett.
Yep.
So Browns, they might have a decent season. Who knows? And Steelers, their offense looked explosive like usual.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown right back at it. Almost had 200 freaking yards, man. And yeah, man, it looks like the Steelers are gonna stay potential playoff contenders, and that defense they got to prove a little bit better. But yeah, man, the Steelers can be a problem. That offense is just ridiculous. They got weapons all over the field.
Antonio Brown had a really good game.
Yes. That's what I mentioned. He almost had 200 yards receiving, which is crazy. And Big Ben, he looked like Big Ben, man. Yeah. Running around scrambling and tossing it down the field. Yeah. So yeah, the Steelers look like they're still in playoff form.
TJ Watt really impressed me this game. 2 sacks, 1 interception. He might have himself a good career. But it is the first game, so we can't take too much out of it. But he looked pretty good. Let's get to the Texans and Jags. Blake Bortles is still pretty whack in my eyes. But that Jag defense is legit.
Yes.
And you just had 10 sacks on them. And man, they overwhelmed that Texas defense.
They did.
Offense, I mean.
They did.
And they just made Tom Savage look pretty awful. So what do you think about Tom Savage, Ryan?
Well, I definitely could say he's not a savage.
No, he's not.
Honestly, I think they would have had a better chance and a closer shot in this game if they would have put Watson in earlier. But I understand, they said, they're going to, in their stick to the guns, they said they're going to start with Savage. So, they stuck to the guns, but they figured out real quickly that he's not the answer.
No, he's not the answer.
And, and that's the thing is not only when your team sees that they're struggling, not only that, you don't want your home crowd on the first week booing and, because at one point they were like Watson. So, you got to, man. Sometimes you got to feed in the crowd. You can't let your fans down. So they put him in, and he looked pretty good, man. Yeah. He, of course, like I said, he's a rookie, and he made a couple rookie mistakes, which is you're going to. Yeah. And but otherwise, man, he was getting out of the pocket, making some really good throws, and he looked really good, man. So he looked like he could be up on the uprise.
Yeah, I was impressed, but he made mistakes. He did look like a rookie. But man, that Jags defense is going to be scary.
Right.
This Blake Bortles is going to take him as far as they can go, though. Leonard Fournette, he looked great.
Yeah, almost had 100 yards.
He did have 100 yards.
He did have 100 yards, sorry.
And he had 26 carries, though.
Yeah, a lot of carries, but hey, man, 100 yards, you get it in your first, NFL game, hey.
Yeah, and he was going against a really good defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's another point is there ain't no punk defense that he was, running the ball on, so to definitely get 100 yards, and it don't even matter if you got 35 carries, you get 100 yards on that defense, you should at least pat yourself on the back a little bit. Yeah.
So, granted, the Texan defense didn't play great. I wasn't impressed. But it's the first game. Let's see. And
you do got to say, they have a lot of things weighing on their minds. Hurricane Harvey. Even though it's done, past and gone, they're still struggling down there. So you got to think there's a lot of things weighing on their mind too. So they could have had a little. They could have went out there a little rusty.
Yeah. Campbell looked great for the Jags. Had 4 sacks, which was pretty impressive. They just got to get better at Texans. Got to get better offensive line. They got to bite the bullet and pay that the left tackle the money because he's holding out and it's going to cost them the team. Right. It cost them some games if.
I kind of hate when organizations do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like if they're really worth it, there is no waiting. If you're worth it, like that's like your man Donald over in the Rams. Pay that man. What are y'all doing?
Well, he ended this whole.
Yeah, I mean they did, but I'm just saying they drug it out for no reason.
Yeah.
Like he's the man, so.
That's just you just need to. The thing about owners these days, man, they just don't want to play the players.
Oh, I know. They're stingy with it.
And outside, if you're a quarterback, you really have no leverage, unfortunately. But we're gonna go to a break right quick. This is the Pick Guys. This is our commercial break. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and give a like and share and comments.
Yeah, man, and comment below, and we'll love to read them. And thanks for joining the pick.
Thank you guys for watching.
Hey guys, welcome back to the pick.
Thanks for coming back.
All right, we're gonna get into the Ravens and the Bengals game. Boy, first I'm gonna start off with how horrible Andy Dalton looked.
He looked terrible.
4 picks, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it was a 20-0 game.
Yeah.
So man, it looked like they might be able to have a good season, but weak. I mean, I understand it's week 1. Everybody's getting their the cobwebs, knocked off, but still, that is not a way to open the game and to open up your season and give a look to your team. Like, that was awful.
It was awful.
Ravens defense looked freaking monstrous. Looked like they're back to that, that mean defense.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, Flacco played decently, nothing crazy. Yeah, man, but that was just super rough for that Bengals offense, man.
Yeah, just Bengals didn't play well. Ravens defense played really well. They were creating turnovers and just making plays. Andy Dalton, like you said, was just terrible. He's got to play better than that. It is going to have a rough season.
This is his 4th,
no, more than
5th
that.
season?
6th, 7th season.
Really? Dang.
Around there.
Yeah, you get that. Even if you have 4 to 5 years experience, like you should be more ready for some games than that, So yeah, man, I have a feeling if Andy Dalton has a bad season again, they might be looking towards another quarterback.
Yeah, and it's unexcusable in a way. They have so many weapons.
Yeah,
they have a good team.
Yeah, they got one of the best tight ends in the league, arguably one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah,
they got a 3-headed monster in the running game.
They do.
So yeah,
good defense.
Yeah, so
Bengals should be better than they are.
Absolutely, they definitely shouldn't have had 0 points.
Yeah.
Their offense is to my eyes, their offense is too good to have 0 points.
Yeah. Really, honestly, Andy Dalton's going to take them as far as they're going to go. One of my other complaints is they got to get Joe Mixon more involved in play calls and more involved in offense. I think he really should be the starter in my eyes.
They didn't run him a whole lot. It was a lot of Bernard and then a little bit of Hill and then a little bit of Mixon. Yeah, honestly, I'm with this guy. Like, it ain't even about the OU bias.
Yeah.
It's just he's balling out.
Yeah, he's going to be a really good player.
In my eyes, if I see a player balling out, I'm gonna go let him ball out and go let him see, show him what people can see, and prove what he has.
Yeah.
So.
All right, the Cardinals and Detroit game.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. I don't really think either of these teams are gonna be very good.
Yeah.
I thought Cardinals might make a bounce back season, but Carson Palmer just looks terrible. I think he really needs to retire.
Honestly, I think that age is getting to him.
Yeah.
Of course, he was injured last year, and that doesn't help the fact that you get injured and you're getting older, and that don't help. And I heard recently David Johnson has a dislocated wrist.
Yeah.
So
they might have a rough season.
Yeah, it ain't looking promising right now.
And it's messed up because they got a really good defense.
Yeah.
And this is not good, man. Unfortunately, Bruce Arians might be starting to get on the hot seat.
Yeah.
He's a really good coach. Let's get Detroit. I don't think they're going to be a great team, but they made some plays and they're scrappy. Matt Stafford bounced back from an early pick and made some plays.
Yeah, he ended up actually getting 4 touchdowns.
And the Lions' defense impressed me for the most part. They look decent at times.
Yep.
All right, Atlanta and the Bears. One of the best games of the night yesterday.
That was interesting.
Atlanta's offense looked good really good like last year at times, but at other times they kind of struggled and were stagnant. But I think they're going to get it together.
Yeah.
Bears. I mean, what else could you ask for? They should have won that game. To be honest with you,
right?
It wasn't for a couple of drops and just missed throws. They should have won that game. Mike Glenn didn't play terrible.
No.
The little running back from Northern ATM, North Carolina.
Yeah, Cohen.
I
think his last name was Cohen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was balled out. He was really quick.
They call him, his nickname is literally the human joystick.
Yeah,
so if you got a nickname like that, you're a beast.
Howard look like he did last year. So Bears might not have an absolute terrible season, but it's his first game. So
The biggest takeaway from that game, though, is how awful the Falcons' defense looked.
yeah,
They were bad. They
Yeah.
They literally took a step back because last year they struggled at the beginning, but then they started getting better and looked like they're going to gel and become a team. But that opening game, yeah, they were struggling against the Bears.
yeah, but they closed it out and they made.
They did. They got the big sack at the end, and sometimes that's all it comes down to is a play like that. But outside of that play, yeah, they struggled for the most part of that game.
That Hooper play was pretty amazing, though.
That was crazy.
That was one of the craziest stiff arms I've ever seen.
Right? Just making another grown man look like a kid on the field.
No kidding. All right, let's get to the Oakland and Tennessee game. I didn't really watch a whole lot of this game, but a little bit I've seen. Mariota didn't look great in this game. Derek Carr did look really great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I just didn't really see a whole lot of this game, but Marshawn Lynch looked like he's the old
Beast mode.
And yeah, it's gonna be the Raiders is really gonna go as far as Derek Carr and their defense can take them.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as anything crazy about this game, I'm kind of like him. There wasn't too crazy, anything crazy. Carr did his job. Oakland's defense made enough stops and stopped Mariota.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, that was a close game. But then the Raiders end up coming out and end up kicking some butt in that second half. So. Yeah, man, that was a pretty good game, though.
All right, let's talk about the Colts and the Rams.
Whew.
Oh man, my team really impressed me. I'll be honest with you. Defense played well. Goff played really well.
Yeah, it did.
Gurley looked like his old self.
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins looked like pretty impressive.
Even Tavon Austin.
Cooper Kupp worked really well.
Yeah.
Played really well. I mean, I'm very impressed, and I couldn't complain at all, really. Now it is against the Colts, and I think they're going to be really bad this season. The defense is going to be really bad. I think if Andy's hurt for 3 to 4 more weeks, I think they need to just shut it down and just tank and get a good pick out this year, because that team has a lot of holes.
Yeah.
And Andy Luck, if he keeps on getting hurt, he's going to be one of those players that if what could have been, that would have happened.
Yeah.
And it just, man, I was impressed. First game of the year, perfect conditions, so we can't thank Jerry Goff for being a Hall of Fame or anything, but I was impressed. I can't complain as a Rams fan. All right, let's go to the Pack and the Hawks.
Oh, go Pack, go, baby. Hey, man, we did our job. Definitely a rough game in the first half. We couldn't get anything going. They were getting a lot of pressure on Rodgers. But that second half, we ended up getting it together and figuring out what the hell we needed to do against that defense. And I have to mention that too, that's the thing, man. It looks like the Seahawks are back in form. I wouldn't say quite to the expectation of being the Legion of Boom again, but it looks like they're on their way back to being that again. And that was a very interesting game, and I have to absolutely say the most shocking thing about that game was our defense.
Yeah.
Our defense stepped up tremendously.
Yeah.
And even in the interview, when they interviewed Rodgers for the post game, he even said the highlight of that game was the defense. Clearly.
Yeah.
He's like, we struggled on offense. We did have a couple of moments where, of course, we got down the field and scored, but majority of that game, our defense played really, really well.
Yeah, their defense played really well. Daniels looked like a elite player, and he might be a elite player.
Yeah, he had a good season last year.
Yeah, he did. Some BS calls in the beginning of the game that cost the Seahawks. I didn't see that punch, apparently, from Lane.
There was no damn punch.
It was BS.
Yeah, they screwed him.
They really cost him, but the Seahawks got to play better. I think I had them in the Super Bowl, which I'm still sticking by, but that offensive line doesn't play better. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks is the Seahawks offensive line is terrible or the Green Bay has a really good defense. If that's the case, then I'm gonna have to change my pick and put the Green Bay in the title contenders right now because they look great.
Yep.
And Rodgers looks like Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He was struggling at the first half, but he played well in the second half. Jordan Nelson was making some plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. They need to get a little more of a running game. They kind of abandoned the running game a little bit, and just need to run a little more. But outside of that, really good defense game. Kind of boring, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go to break again, and we are back. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. We're gonna talk about the Jets game for 1 second. We actually didn't even watch the game, but
No, not really.
Jets are terrible. Bills are gonna be terrible as well.
Yep.
I don't really know what to say. Shady McCoy looked good.
Oh yeah, that's my highlight of the game. Shady looked good, like I expected, and Jets looked like Jets, like I expected. So that game was pretty much what we expected.
Yeah. Don't have anything else to say.
No.
Let's get to the Cardinals and the Niners and the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Yeah. See here. Panthers defense looking pretty good again.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it is against a really bad offense, so
Very true.
we can't read too much into it. But Cam struggled at times.
Mm-hmm.
He missed a wide open receiver that should have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
But hey, first game jitters. He hasn't really played a whole lot. Didn't really play the preseason much. So you got to get his foot back, feet him back, and everything.
Yeah, I guess that's gonna be my little, I guess you could call it excuse for him is, he hasn't practiced and played, and that was his first time actually getting on the field, and since last year, he was hurt last year.
He played a little bit of preseason, but in a
not much.
Real game, yeah.
Yeah, not much.
So
yeah, man, he struggled, but they ended up pulling out the win. McCaffrey looked good.
Yeah, he did. He looked like a weapon.
Yeah, he looks like he's actually going to be able to step up, maybe take that the starting position.
Yeah, they actually had him a lot in the game, even more than I thought they would.
And honestly, if I was coaching that team, I would, because for one, he's the fresher legs.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to get Stewart hurt because he's probably on his last couple years, and he's a good running back, so I wouldn't want to get him hurt. So yeah, man, if I was them, I would start McCaffrey and get him more experience at starter, and yeah, man, Panthers could be a problem if they can get that going, and Cam can knock out the rust off him, and yeah, man.
San Francisco got a long way to go. They didn't with discipline at all. Hopefully, Reuben Foster's okay. He hurt himself.
Yes. I
think he's gonna be a really good player, and I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Don't have much else to say about this game.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Cowboys and the Giants right quick. Dak was looking pretty rusty in my eyes.
Yeah, for the most part of that game, he was hella rusty.
But he is going against a really good defense, so it's not going to be like he's not going to be throwing it on like he's going against the Colts or something. So it's a good defense. Zeke looks like a monster. He absolutely looks like a monster. In that game, he just looked like the best running back in the league.
Again.
And I had Lev Bell at that position, but I think Zeke's taking that cake.
Yeah.
Because he looked unstoppable. He really looked like runs that he should lose yardage or get like 1 or 2 yards. He turns into 3 or 4 yards or 5 yards. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing watching him run. Granted, he has a great offensive line, but some of those runs, it doesn't matter who his line was. So Dallas is going to be a good team, man.
Yep.
And if Zeke can play the whole season and not get suspended, they're going to be definitely a good title contender.
Yeah.
And that Cowboys defense played really well as well. Man, they got a lot of pressure on Eli, and Eli looked terrible for most of the game. The receivers weren't getting a lot of separation, but Eli was just missing throws, not getting Brandon Marshall involved enough.
One catch, and it literally came within like 20 seconds of the last quarter.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Missing throws. He didn't play well. Granted, his line is awful, so that doesn't help. But he's got to play better. He looks like a rookie.
Yeah. Man. Zeke the Freak looking still like Zeke the Freak.
Yeah.
I agree with this, man. Dak kind of came out rusty, but they end up, That's the thing, man. That's the crazy part about it is you got to think Zeke is so much of a problem that Dak can be struggling, but that play action helps so much.
Yeah.
Like that touchdown to Witten.
Yeah.
that play action, they were that I watched the front four and the linebackers. They were watching him and focus on him because they were so worried about the run. And like I said, he's such a problem that you might be having a rough game, but you could still get receivers open just simply because of him.
Yeah, and it's
crazy.
He's such a monster, man.
And
such a difference maker.
Yeah, and the biggest takeaway is you could tell how much the Giants' offense struggles without ODB on the field.
Yeah.
Cause he sets up a lot of the times. The announcer on the Sunday night made a great point.
Yeah.
Even though he was a little hurt, I would dress him up anyway and stick him out there like a decoy because you have to respect him so much that you have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I get that, but Beckham made a good decision and not played. You don't want to get yourself hurt.
No.
And cause even more of an injury. So he just needs to rest and play when he needs to.
Yeah.
Giants, man, I thought they were gonna have a really good season, but offensive line looked terrible and Eli looked terrible. So honestly, kind of like the Seahawks, they're gonna go as far as that line and their quarterback can take them.
Yeah.
Russell's kind of a better quarterback, so it's a little different. But man, I got to be frustrating for their defense because they played it really well.
Mm-hmm.
Held the Cowboys to 120 points. That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Jenkins played it really well. Shut down Dez for the most part. Wish he played that well when he played for the Rams.
Yeah.
It's kind of frustrating me. But hey, Giants played well. Just couldn't take it out because their offense played awful.
I want to bring up a point though about that is sometimes though you got to consider your defensive coordinator just not using them correctly.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that was a lot of the issue too is they weren't using Jenkins properly.
That and Landon Collins helps a lot. He's one of the best safeties in the league.
Yeah.
Rams didn't have a good safety when Jenkins was their cornerback, but he played well.
Dude, Jenkins shut down Dez for the most of that game. I mean, he had a couple of good catches on him, but yeah, for the most part, Dez was shut down.
And Jenkins has always been a Pro Bowl corner. He's just since he went to the Giants, he's been an elite corner. Mm-hmm. So you can argue top corner in the league.
Yeah.
So he's played great. All good to him.